Well, good morning and welcome to chapel today. I decided I'm going to do things a little bit differently today because I don't know, I just want to try something different. We're living in a new world, different times, and I prefer, when we do chapel, in person, I like to have more of the conversation between people. I don't necessarily, my style is not necessarily just to talk at you. I'd like to talk with you, and this format just doesn't really allow for it. I mean, it'd be nice if we all had chapel at the same time, and we could have like the YouTube live and the chat. I could be looking at the super chats and all that good stuff, but that just is not going to work out, and that's just been sort of the theme of this whole time in which we find ourselves, that things aren't going the way that we like them to, and so we're going to have to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So. I'm just going to try and be a little bit more conversational with you all today, and you can let me know whether you prefer this or prefer something a little bit more scripted. So before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and show you, or actually admit to you, that I actually forgot to include the pic from the sophomore class of our Halloween costume. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in here now. Okay. And then I'd also like to share with you, the pictures that were shared with me. So thank you to 8B. Here is 8B and their Halloween. All right, sorry. Oh, you got to censor that out. Their costume day costumes. So again, thank you, 8B. Okay, and then speaking of 8B, one of the questions that I asked last week for your feedback on, 8B gave that to me, is what motivates you? Okay, and so 8B said what motivates them. The majority of them said, according to Mr. Kwong, that competition drives them. Some like to beat their friends at video games. Others just want to beat the high schoolers. We're looking at the cross-country runners there. High school, you better watch out. You got some middle schoolers coming up, targeting you. Some remember the hard work that they put in to get to that point, and I'm going to guess don't want that to go wasted. So they just think about like, how much they worked hard to get where they are, and like, hey, did it before, I'm going to do it again. All right. The sophomores, one of the things that they do to be motivated, or to find motivation, is one of them said, well, I say to myself, you're here now, you might as well do it. Okay. Another sophomore said that they prefer music or words of affirmation. They have sort of their go-to playlist, and I bet some of you have a go-to playlist, maybe when you are studying or working on a paper, or out doing some exercise. You got your playlist as well. I know I do. Okay. One of these sophomores said, they focus on the goal or the destination. They have an idea of where they want to be and what it's going to take to get them there. And they're just like, you know what? I'm going to have to slog through this right now, but I know where I want to be and I'm going to get there. And another sophomore said they hear the voices of previous coaches who were less than kind, and that motivation to be better, to always work hard. Okay, so again, thank you, 8B, for both sharing your costume photos and your words of motivation. I hope that those of you who are watching this can be motivated by that. And again, thank you for the sophomores. They're my homeroom, so I make them do it anyway. Okay, all right, cool. Well, speaking of things, a couple of weeks back, I asked you guys about a very important topic in our day and time, a topic that is so crucial to the furtherance of the human race on this planet. What was that topic, you ask? Well, that topic was whether pepperoni, or belay that, whether pineapple is an acceptable topping on pizza. And I have the results of this vote. With a 29-17 majority, most of you said no, pineapple does not belong on pizza. Some went so far as to say fruit does not belong on pizza. And that got me thinking about the list of toppings provided in the non-meat section of pizza. And there's a lot of fruit there. It's kind of normal. I'm thinking olives, I'm thinking jalapenos, I'm thinking tomatoes, I'm thinking peppers. But hey, pineapple, maybe it's weird. Okay, so there you go, 17 to 29, or 29 to 17, no pineapple on pizza. Well, speaking of voting, so there was an election this week, and as of the filming of this video, it's 7:05 a.m. here in beautiful Wahiawa, Hawaii. It's looking like the results are tightening up, as well as the controversy is tightening up. And it got me thinking, and I'm going to make this one short today for a couple of reasons. One, I need to do a couple of edits before I upload, and that takes some time. And two, I need to upload, and that takes some time. And three, YouTube needs to process this video so that you can watch it in your homerooms, which takes some time. So I'm just going to be extremely brief and to the point on this one, which I know is an anomaly for me because I am Portuguese and I talk a lot. More on that in a bit. Okay, but we find ourselves in a time in which division seems to be the rule, not the exception. And the thing is, when you study history, when you look back, when you live for some years, like my grandpa Gene did, living 100 years, you start to see some patterns, and you realize that, unfortunately, as the writer of Ecclesiastes says, there's nothing new under the sun. And in the letter to the Galatians, Paul writes, in a lot of Paul's letters, actually, he addresses the issue of unity within the church because division just naturally happens when you have people together. And he writes to the church in Galatia, who is experiencing sort of disunity on how the gospel was to be expressed and lived out. What were the key elements of the gospel? Was it a Jewish thing in which a Christian thing was added on to, or was it a Christian thing that sort of affirmed the Jewish but took it forward in a brand new direction? And spoiler alert, it's we get justification by faith, the idea that it's Jesus plus nothing that gets you salvation, not Jesus plus the law or Jesus plus circumcision. It's Jesus plus nothing, only Jesus. And in the midst of this discussion, Paul writes, there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Okay? And what he's basically saying is he's saying that there's this brand new family of God, that it used to be just the Israelites, the people of Israel, those who struggle with God. And because of the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, that family membership has been opened up into the entire world, thus fulfilling the prophecy or the covenant made with Abraham that his descendants would be more numerous than the stars in the sky and the grains of sand in the ocean or on the sea, on the beach. And of course, this causes issues because people are different, and people like to cling to those differences as a way of drawing boundary markers between the us and the them. And Paul writes to say that no, those in Christ Jesus are one family. There's not multiple families that are coming together. It's one family. But the thing is, we are this one family with diverse people within our family. And I think for those of us in Hawaii, we know this more than anybody. Like, you look at me, and if you saw me at a family reunion, you would think that I was the odd one out. In fact, growing up and going to family reunions, I would feel like the odd one out because my ethnic background is Portuguese, Hawaiian, and English, and so most of my family members are slightly more melanated than I am. And but yet we're all part of the same family. I might look one way, my cousin might look another way, but we're still part of the same family. And our diversity, of different types of people, with our unity in Christ is our greatest strength as Christians. And so, Paul, sort of encourages us, to not divide by categories like race or social status or gender, right? There's no male nor female. There's neither slave nor free. There's no Jew nor Gentile. Don't divide by these categories. Okay, instead unite. Okay, in Jesus. That's the category. That's the identifier that matters. So as we, sit here, perhaps Joe Biden wins and he becomes the 46th president of the United States of America. Perhaps Donald Trump wins and he remains the 45th president of the United States of America. We don't know. Okay? And the thing is, that's not all that big a deal. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, no, it's a huge deal because, this, that, and the other. Like, no, I've read the end of the book. We'll be okay. But instead of focusing on that which divides us, whether we're team blue or team red or whatever, let's focus on that which unites, on that which stands as a sign to the world of a better way of doing things, a way that brings people together, a way of belonging to the family of Jesus. All right. Well, like I said, I was going to keep it short today for some practical reasons. Okay. I would like to hear from you, though. It really pains me. I am the upper chaplain for grades 4 through 12, but honestly, fourth grade, I don't know you. I know one of you. I don't know you. Don't see you. Fifth grade, I don't know any of you. Sixth grade, I know one of you, but I don't know the rest of you. Seventh, eighth grade, I don't know you. Okay, and that hurts. I really would like to get to know you, and hopefully we can come up with a way in which I can be a chaplain to you as well as the chaplain to the high school students, of which I spend the majority of my time. All right, well, I'm going to call it for now. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that, you don't let what's going on out there get you down. Um, Enjoy your life. Be one in Christ Jesus. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Aloha.